few nights on now from that disappointment against Charlton Athletic, we move our attention to Saturday, where it's the Blues versus the Baggies. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Harvey Bell. Delighted to have your company as we break down Ipswich Town versus West Brom and look ahead to that one at Portman Road on Saturday. Before we get into that, and as you can see in the top left hand corner of the screen, I am currently trying to grow my subscriber count on this channel, hoping to be around 1,500 at Christmas time. So if you could help me out by subscribing to the channel, that would be really helpful. Also, jump into the comment section and tell me what you think the score is going to be on Saturday when Town host West Brom at Portman Road. Okay then, so we'll start with our visitors, West Brom. And West Brom currently sit 10th place in the Championship table. They've played 11 games so far this season. They've won 5, they've drawn 2, and they've lost 4. And I don't really think it's the start that they would have wanted. When I look through their squad, I see enormous talent, and I almost liken them to Ipswich in the sense of having a squad that is probably currently underperforming and not doing as well as I think their fans would have hoped, or as well as people would have thought pre-season. But that said, they are still in and amongst the race for the playoffs at the moment. They are currently just 1 point behind Stoke City, who are in 6th place and occupying that final playoff spot, albeit at this early stage in the season. So I don't think they'll have too many worries yet. But it is interesting to see the amount of teams already in that playoff race. And it just goes to show how close it is. When I look at their squad, as I say, I see so much talent. We'll start with their defence. Nat Phillips, of course, formerly of Liverpool. They've got Chris Metham, formerly of Sheffield United, who played a lot of games in the Premier League for them. Of course, Alfie Gilchrist as well, came through the Chelsea Academy. So they've got incredible options there, and it doesn't surprise me that they're particularly strong in defence, in all honesty. You move into the midfield and you see the likes of Callum Styles in there, Diakite, two players that are really exceptional at this level. Styles has played against Ipswich on a handful of occasions now and generally tends to stand out whenever he plays against Town. So I expect good things from him. He's going to be somebody to keep an eye on. And then up top, you know, they've got really good options sort of attacking wise. Isaac Price with 5 goals already this season. Captain Jed Wallace is a formidable striker at this level. Josh Madger, we've all seen him in the Sunderland Till I Die documentary, but we know how consistent he is at this level, albeit he's not started this season particularly well. And then, of course, Samuel Illing Jr., who's only played 6 games for them so far this year, but is a very tricky winger with a lot of pace and will cause our fullbacks problems, one would imagine. So they've definitely got players to look out for. They're definitely a really strong squad, and it doesn't surprise me that they are already sort of up there this season and already looking like they will be up there come what may. I always look at West Brom as a team that's going to be up there, and I think they came down in 2021, so they've been back in the Championship for 4 seasons now, but they've always been threatening to go back up. They've never really had a poor season where they've been threatened by relegation or stuck in mid-table. They've always been in or around the playoffs and always looking like they might make a case to get themselves back up. Of course, this season, managed by young Ryan Mason, and I call him young. He's only 34 years old, which is incredibly young for a football manager. We thought that we had a young manager in Kieran McKenna, but Kieran McKenna obviously 42 years old. And as ridiculous as it sounds to say, Ryan Mason almost makes him look old. But they almost have similar career paths, really, in the sense that they were both professional footballers, playing for Tottenham, in fact, and they both got big injuries where they had to retire earlier, which is obviously very sad, but they both seem to have made success of being a football manager. And Ryan Mason is doing a fairly decent job in his first season as West Brom manager, and I think, you know, the fans will probably just be hoping it gets a little bit better. But as Ipswich fans, we're hoping it doesn't get any better at our own expense on Saturday. And we'll discuss exactly what's happening at Ipswich in a minute. I went over a little bit about it on Tuesday night after the Charlton game. A couple of days to settle down now and think about it. But we'll get into that after this. It's Guess Blue. It's that time of the video where I give you 3 words to describe a former Ipswich Town player. You jump into the comment section and tell me exactly what player I'm talking about. So your 3 words today are captain, harmonious and sky. Captain, harmonious and sky. I'm pretty sure most of you are going to get that one. But yeah, jump into the comment section and tell me who you think it is. Okay, back to previewing ahead to Town versus West Brom on Saturday then. And, I mean, the first thing to mention is that we do have some good news. Azor Matasiwa will be back. He is no longer suspended, which is good. And I think on Tuesday night, as I spoke about on Tuesday night after the game, we did lack that bite in the midfield, which he offers. I fully expect him to come back in. I'd be shocked if he didn't. I do wonder if it will be alongside Cajuste or Nunes. Obviously, Cajuste has played pretty much every game so far this season that he's been available for, but I do wonder if McKenna might drop in on Saturday, not because of form, but just Saturday, Tuesday nature of the Championship is relentless, and we know that Cajuste isn't the most durable anyway. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Nunes stay in for his second successive start, but Azor will be back, which is particularly exciting. Defence, I think we'll see shaken up as well. I think Kipri will come back in, most likely for Greaves. Of course, he's not going to drop the captain, despite both Greaves and O'Shea having poor games on Saturday. But Kipri will come back in. But I would imagine it would be for Jacob Greaves. In terms of changes, that's all I really imagine. But this is a really funny game early on in the season, because I mentioned that West Brom are up there, and I fully expect them to be up there come the end of the season. I expect Town to be up there as well, albeit we're not playing very well at the moment. But we talk about McKenna, and it's interesting because this feels like the low point of his time at Ipswich Town. And I compare that to the low point of other managers who have been in charge of Ipswich Town. And if Kieran McKenna's low point is where he's lost 2 games in a row in the Championship, then I think that's a testament to how good of a job that he's done, that this feels like a low, when in actual fact we're 11 games into the Championship season and we've still got a very good chance of going up, and a run would actually see us climb the table very, very quickly. So I know it's difficult at the minute because we haven't really got that connection with these new players. We haven't really had many moments to connect with them, and our form hasn't been the best, and this season hasn't started great. And I get the frustration. I'm as frustrated as anybody else. But to me, I think that we're just 1 or 2 games away from turning a corner, because on Tuesday there was some really nice stuff in the first half. And in all the anger and frustration on Tuesday night, I didn't really talk about that too much. But I'd say first half on Tuesday was probably as dominant as we've been this season in many ways, without scoring. And that's the frustration, because had we have scored, we'd have probably gone on to score 2 or 3 and we'd have been talking about a completely different night, really, and we'd be sitting here 3 points better off and just sort of outside the playoff places. Ultimately, that didn't happen. We didn't score, and that's where the frustration comes, because we lose games and we're drawing silly games that we shouldn't. But I think there is positives to take as well. I think Akpom will stay in because I think he played fairly well on Tuesday night. Jack Clark played very well, I thought, picked the ball up, and even at 3-0 down was running relentlessly. So as difficult as it is at the minute, I am still quite confident that we can pick up form and we can really kick on. But I think the challenge is when and how quickly we do that. And I mean, that's got to start on Saturday, really. But West Brom are no pushovers. And I think West Brom will be looking at this as a really good time to play Ipswich, because we haven't got going yet. And if we were maybe 10 games further into the season, where I hope and I think we would have picked up a bit of momentum, I think West Brom would be fearing us. But I think West Brom will come to Portman Road fairly confident, knowing that they're capable of winning games, have the players to hurt us, and ultimately are one of the stronger sides in this division. And at the minute, we're not performing like we are, even though on paper we are one of the better teams in the division. So it's a really interesting fixture. As I said, I don't think West Brom have particularly got going at the minute. So perhaps we can look at it the other way and say that we're playing them at a good time as well. But yeah, certainly an interesting fixture for the neutral. A neutral I am not, so I am hoping Ipswich Town can pick up the win. I'm interested to know what you think. I mean, score prediction-wise, it's really hard to do a score prediction for this one. I will back Ipswich to win, but I don't think it's going to be easy. I'll back us for a narrow 1-0 home win. But yeah, it's not going to be easy at all. I'm interested to know what you think the score's going to be. I'm interested to know how you think the game's going to play out. Let me know what you think of my comments, Ari McKenna, as well, because I know it's a controversial subject at the minute, but I do just genuinely think that he's done tremendous things for Ipswich Town, and I know we need to continue that. But I just think that if this is the low point, then it shows how good of a job he's already done, and actually it gives me more confidence that he can turn things around. But that's just my perspective on it. I understand everybody has different views. Let me know what you think. Yeah, other than that, enjoy watching on Saturday. As we said, I'm not going to get a reaction to that one, just on the basis that I've got other things to do and won't have time to get a video out. But yeah, otherwise, thank you for watching and keep on keeping on.